Dies without,
Second,
second.
yeah.
Thank you. Now
Sure.
somebody else.
Motion?
said
I would
it.
motion that we approve Moss Levy with negotiation. If they match Harshwell's cost, that we contract with them also to include an escape clause that we can terminate the contract with 30 days notice,
And if they don't,
for any reason.
and if they don't do it, if they don't agree to the reduction of cost,
Comes back to the board.
That's
You
fine.
go with the other one.
and then you have the special meeting and have to give them an answer by,
July
What
first.
was the
by
second
Monday.
one? Harshville?
This is Thursday, you gotta do this by Monday.
Are you
This is
tired?
Thursday. You can't even post a meeting.
Okay, so if they don't accept, then we award to Harshwell.
If they don't accept, what did you say, Director Sangster?
Then it goes to
Then we
Harshville.
award to Harshwell.
Do you have any other motions?
I'm gonna make a motion, that we just,
Go, do it.
There's a motion on the floor.
I'm gonna make a motion that we just,
Do I have a second first?
I can second for debate.
No second for Ashley, Mr. Sangster's,
I don't know.
So that's,
and then it'll die.
no, wait a minute.
Okay, what?
Based on them negotiating, and if they say, no, it stays the same, then we go with the other company?
Yeah, but do you realize we said it would be awarded by July first? And like John said,
Or why are we talking about this last month?
I don't know why we've been talking about it for half an hour.
because the negotiation part came in.
What's
Usually
the
it's pretty
penalty
just
if
a
it isn't
motion and a
awarded by
second.
July the
Who do
first?
you
I have no
want?
idea.
And then
By
you guys
none.
vote.
I mean, that looks to me like.
Just a
somebody-
courtesy, just a, trying to
Yeah.
keep transparency.
Yeah,
No, it's not the first
I mean,
I'm sure we.
Was there a second? Died without a motion. Okay, so, or died without a second. So,
Okay, obviously,
I'm gonna
we can just
now-
make comments without
Go
being
ahead.
recognized.
go ahead.
The simple fact of the matter is, they gave you a proposal, the proposal had a estimated amount of hours. Each company did that. One company's projected amount of hours was 70 hours more than the other companies. So obviously your value is with the company who put out more hours because they are less dollar per hour,
You're right. You're absolutely right.
because time's money.
It's just that's a maximum amount. It's not what it's gonna cost us. It's their safety net. I'm gonna make a motion that we go with Hart's Levy and Hart's,
Motion by Green,
Moss Hart's, no,
Moss Levy.
Moss
That's a
Levy.
one-time
Hart's. That's a very valid point.
Thank you.
I second
Is there a second?
You just want to award to them without any negotiation this one?
No, I'm not, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that the $36,000 is an estimate. It's not to go over that. We can still negotiate with them.
That's true.
We can still negotiate with them.
Have they
If
used
you want me to
it?
throw the negotiation part in, I will, but I would prefer to use them
Have they
just
used everything
because
before?
we've worked with them, they're proven, they're efficient, we have a relationship with them, there's no one-year learning curve, it's to our benefit, they charge
Yeah,
less.
last time.
It's 160 hours for only, for only $3,000 more. That's a bargain.
Audit of their hours that they claim they use.
Thank you for pointing that out, because it never even occurred to me, but that is
I
a
don't recall
maximum
them ever
cost.
saying-
We'd have to look at their last proposal and see if they used every penny that they proposed last time. I don't know.
But it's a not to exceed number.
It
We're
is.
gonna bill you.
Not
We have a mo-
That's why I
It's
said
all
the
relative,
hours.
because all the others are not to exceed as well.
Elaine's gonna get mad at us soon, we have a motion on the table.
Is there a second? There's no second.
He died again.
Try it again. What was a nice try?
I don't have a problem going with Moss Levy.
Okay, then second the motion.
As he said,
Pending a negotiation.
that's why I said the hours for me for Moss Levy and their familiarity was the sell. And yes, their dollar amount is a little more, but as you go by.
It's not more. They're giving you,
No, I know, I'm just gonna say, but when
Twice
you
the number
go
of
by the
hours.
hour they're offering, the hours they're offering with the dollar amount, hourly is cheaper. It's the
Hourly cheaper, but at the end of the day, if they go up to the not to exceed amount, it still costs more to the district than the other proposing company. I have no problem going with Moss Levy.
Good, make a motion.
Okay, I motion that we award to Moss Levy pending negotiation. If they don't accept negotiating to match the cost of the lowest proposer, we lick our wounds and take it anyway.
I'll second that, no, I'll second that. I'm
John
seconding
never
that.
seconds anything.
How can I negotiate when he says, what's the other firm offering hour-wise for that rate?
How can you negotiate when, what?
Then
How-
we'll just tell
How can
them.
I negotiate?
Show him,
When I-
show him the number of hours they're proposing.
But when I talk to Moss Levy and they say, well, you come down on your rate
Yeah.
based on the.
No, not on your rate.
Okay, I have a motion and a
Is
second.
there a discrepancy in the number of hours you plan on putting into this? Because I have two other companies that are within 5 hours, and you guys are off 70 hours.
So their hourly rate is cheaper.
When I
Their
say,
hourly rate is cheaper, it's only $3,000 more, it's a win-win for us. Got a motion, a second, vote.
Can you guys take a breath for a second? Okay, ready?
Yep, go.
just to clarify, Rob, we're not negotiating hourly rates, we're negotiating the not to exceed amount.
Then make that clear in the motion.
Based, which they can
And
adjust
that's
by
what he did.
adjusting the number of
His
hours.
motion
they
is
want.
Director Sanctor award depending on negotiating and matching cost of the
Not to exceed amount.
not to exceed amount.
About the 30-day clause.
Must include, contract must include.
I'm worried about that and I hate to bring that up because we wrote the RFP. We
I-
wrote our
I agree, now
our
we're changing.
contract.
We're changing the
The
game plan.
RFP is not the contract. There's gonna be a professional services contract. And as I've said earlier, with any contract for anything that we.
So that doesn't need to be a part of the motion anyway, then, we just direct staff to
Put
do
it in
that.
that contract.
You just put it in there.
Make sure it happens.
Okay, we're voting.
I can't vote, you gotta make sure the second reaffirms the amendment to the motion.
Okay, thank you.
We,
Just say yes.
yes.
Thank you. It's just clerical, thank you, Anthony.
Is it tomorrow yet?
Director Sangster,
Yes.
Director Calvin,
Yes.
Director Parent,
Abstain.
Yes.
Director Green.
Yes. Yes, yes, yes.
Passes 3, 1, 1.
Thank you, Scott. Thank you.
That was exciting.
That was interesting.
Like that.
So review and approve resolution 2019-23, approving the 2019-20 investment policy.
Based on our investment policy, we currently have 2 CDs with this investment group. Last time it went out to, for an RFP, they were the only one that applied. We reviewed and passed our investment policy last year. They were responsive to it. They're very forthcoming with information, been very quick response to us. The current CDs were rolled over they have 4 years left on, basically 4.5 years. I'm requesting that you guys extend the contract for the life.
That's not what you're doing.
Where at?
All you're doing is doing investment policy to give you another year of this and this. And then
It has
next
to be
one.
done annually.
Yeah, so then the
Okay.
next 1 year.
I'm jumping ahead, sorry. So this basically is recommending board adopt policy.
Giving you
approving investment,
authorization.
Ensuring that it complies with the state code, giving me authorization to make a decision for the investment.
Is there any board comments, questions? Is there any public comment? Back to the board, is there a motion?
Motion to approve.
I'll second.
Director Sangster and Director Calvin. Director Parent,
Yes.
Director Sangster,
Yes.
Director Calvin.
Yes.
President Green.
Yes.
Passes 4-0, 1 absent. Now what he said.
Okay, so, are you ready to move on?
Just take it.
Okay, Cantella Company is our investment group. They've been with us since the 2015. I'm requesting that we extend them for the duration of the investments that we have with them. Last time we went up RFP, they were the only ones that applied. They've been very compliant, very forthcoming They're really easy to work with. They give us, I've gotten emails and phone calls, giving us, additional information. And so I would like to extend them, for the life of our investment.
So would this be a new contract for an additional 5 years?
I think how it's written is you were just extending the contract. We spoke to Cantella, they don't need anything on their part.
We would.
There was no contract really before,
Well, wait.
yeah.
What do you mean we don't have a contract?
It was an RFP with our previous general manager and the board approved
Yep.
having them do our investments, but there was no
It wasn't really an
contract.
RFP though,
It's a
because
bank.
it's a bank, yeah,
Yeah.
he reached out to find out what investment firm seemed to fit the district needs and came up with these guys, and he proposed that we put a certain amount of money with them in certificates of deposit, because that was what I requested for. And we bought these certificates of deposit that are a little different than a normal certificate of deposit. These require being bought and sold because they're an investment firm, they're not a bank. Does that make any sense?
Sure.
So it's a little unclear to me exactly how and why that needs to be done, but that's how they operate. Like, we were offered a higher interest rate, he sold our CDs at the lower rate, and we bought them back at the higher rate.
And it was for.
Why the other guy didn't want
We,
the higher rate?
in
I
the
don't know.
prior investment policy, we had a 4-year cap, which you guys changed in 2018 to be 5-year.
Right.
And that gave us the better interest rate, and that's how we were able to sell. And we had one that was had 3 years left in it, and the one had completely matured. So we rolled the one that matured over into a new one, and then we took the one, sold it short, and made up the difference with a better interest rate. And it'll expire at the same time, or it'll mature at the same time as the other one. So now they're on the same schedule.
It was a 1.39, I wanna say, and we got a 2.8.
You're at a, yeah, it's 2.9 and a 3.5.
Now, but the one we sold was like a 1.4.
Right, you
So we
gained a
forfeited,
percent.
we forfeited a small amount of interest and got a higher interest rate locked in for 5 years.
Actually, me looking back on the stuff that they did to get Cantella, it was really trying them out for 3 years. But since the resolution said 3 years, we wanted to bring it back to you since we have those investments. And that
Okay.
was 2 years ago that the 3 years ended.
Correct.
So we're just tidying up all the previous management's
Okay.
stuff.
I'm with you on that. What is the cost to the district for their services?
It's based off of the interest when they sell or buy the CDs. There's no.
It's a transaction fee, I
Charges
think.
transaction fees, or are they
Yes.
taking a percentage?
It is based on a percentage of the interest that's earned, like, okay, so we have, an interest, variable interest account there. So the money that is earned goes into there, and that's where they're paid out of that on a percentage.
You know what that, we're paying them annually?
I don't have that. It's based on action.
I don't see
I
any
don't
money
think we're
coming
paying
out.
annually.
I think it's
No, it's
only if we
based-
trade.
It's based on service. So if they do anything, they're getting paid out of that. So there was a cost to make that transaction, that's where they get paid. If you sit on those things for 5 years and we don't touch them or do anything, they're only gonna make money when they mature and we do whatever we do with them. Make a transaction.
We do get a statement every month. You guys, we can get it to you or put it in the financials if you so want.
I don't even think we're getting what,
Yeah, but I could see it now.
$100 of interest on it. Yeah, I can do that for all our accounts, even the ones that aren't generating interest.
Isn't it?
And I'm not really opposed to extending their services.
Make a motion.
It's mostly we didn't plan on investing in anything else, and we're gonna keep these.
I motion to continue investment management services with Cantella and Company.
Second.
Oh,
You know what, part of this was, okay, now I'm recalling.
I got a motion in a second.
Yeah, that's fine. I'll just give you a little, I'll give you a little background.
But
so
I,
remember after
I
the
need
vote.
you guys to ask for public comment.
Right.
Public comment?
Maybe it's what you're remembering. When that was set up, I remember that it had to be with a particular, approved kind of,
Because it's public money.
because it's public money, and so it had to have certain safeguards, and there
But it
were-
was also because we didn't wanna have all our eggs in one basket because of FDIC insurance.
Right. And that was part of the reason they did that, in that way, and there weren't too many choices out there
No,
evidently.
it wasn't. That's why we turned away from the bank, because we were maxed out on our limits.
Okay.
But that
And now we
turned
don't
out to
motion when you're done.
Huh?
That turned out to not be true information.
Oh, all right, well, that was part of it. There's a motion,
I need him to re-motion because we had a public comment, sorry.
A motion to continue investment management services with Cantella and Company.
for how long a period?
5 years.
Let's vote this time.
Second.
Sangster, Calvin's. Director Calvin's?
Yes.
Director Parent?
No.
Director Sangster?
Yes.
President Green?
Yes.
Passes 4, 1, 1.
3-1.
Oh, sorry, yeah, 3, 1, 1. I couldn't count. 3, 1, 1.
Clarification, Director Parent, was there something that we may have missed in the process of this, or?
You mean, why did I vote no?
Yeah.
I think taking public funds and putting them into private investments is shifty as hell, and that's my personal opinion. So I'm opposed to the whole thing, quite frankly.
Shifty.
We got negative
I thought
funds, we got negative water fund, but we have money in an investment. What are the optics on that?
Well, it was what fund? Capital reserve? It was money that we weren't gonna spend, and we're trying to build it up with interest.
The money came from
Okay.
the LAFCO savings
I just think
account,
it's too much.
The
risk.
LASCO savings account.
and it went to general fund, or the general